I believe, to go to Juddpot. But interesting, every week I'm going to try and just talk about a freshman sire who's coming through, because there's some really nice ones coming through, and some have already backed up with good winners and that. Anything else from your side? I do know there was a bit of a fracas at the races yesterday. A couple of jockeys put the dukes up.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be any fun if they didn't have a bloody punch up every now and then. But yeah, I wasn't there. So
listen, it just shows that they're in a passionate game, and they're up there with money involved. And I always preferred if a jockey a jockey brawl stays in the.
No, stay under the carpet. It's not
push on
good
the
for
carpet.
public.
Two guys having a rort, but it's played out. It's got a bit bigger.
It's a dangerous game. You start cutting.
But boxing.
Well, it's the same as Formula One motor racing. If someone chops you off, you get out and box the bloke next door to you.
That's right. No, I suppose going at that speed, you think, sure. But the two guys had a good boom, boom, boom. Hold me back, let me at him stuff. Let's do a few combinations.
It's always entertaining.
Yeah, and then, I just hope it get there. They sort it out.
And Norris Juglal, he got an offer from Mauritius, from the Goodyear.
Good rider.
Yes, I think
he's Gadjidar stable.
Gadjidar stable. I can't remember pronounce it. Yeah. And but he said he's going to finish his time here before he goes over. He's still got a lot to learn. So
yeah, he looks promising. A lot of these young Mauritian riders, if you go from Carice Teton down, they look to be useful riders.
I think they're disciplined.
Yeah,
which is
a plus.
You come from an island. It's a huge plus.
Yeah.
If you don't make it, you sweep the street somewhere.
That's right. You got to make it. That's right. And well done to him. That they're showing an interest. And what now? You were telling me, is it Cedric Sejourne?
Sejourne, yeah.
He rides in Mauritius.
Yes, he's full time there. I'm not quite sure which stable he's attached to.
He's a good rider.
He's a very good rider. I watched him winning on Everlast.
Yes, ever first.
Ever first, Everlast.
Ever first. He's like we had. Was it Maxime Guillon out the other day? He's a very good rider too.
Yeah, and I think it's indicative of how good our riders are, that those people are prepared to come out here and take us on and learn.
Yeah.
Like Cedric said, he likes the way that the style of the South African jockeys, and he's come to learn. But he's also come to buy horses. So.
Is he an agent too?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's an agent. Yeah.
Oh, well, he will ride them. So he
can practice on them. Yeah,
he can practice. Yeah, I was very impressed. And I've always thought French riders are up there with the best riders in the world. South Africans included. They're up there, right up there. Some really good riders. And now I'm starting to see a few Englishmen that are very talented.
Yeah, and I think it might be a perception of mine, but I've been watching the jockeys around the world. They're starting to ride. They're neater. They push harder. Yeah. And it's not the old English style of stand up and the stick comes around your ears and back down the bottom there. And the Aussies is their bloody windmill.
They're slowly drifting away from that.
Yeah, I think with the new whip rules, they can't do it anymore. But I think if you're neater and you're together and you can push.
We're talking about Mana Fortune. He's one of the great non-stick riders, Jimmy Anderson. And they got the best out of horses. They were some really, really good riders.
It's funny, just before I was coming in, I was thinking about that. It was Jimmy Anderson, Andrew Fortune, Garth Puller, Carl Nesius. They
ride with their hands.
They ride with their hands. They're not great stylistic riders. If you looked at them, Garth, he used to sit dead still and then the stick used to go ding, 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 ding. But he never moved off that balance. His centre of gravity was over the wheels.
Wonderful horseman, eh?
Yes.
Wonderful horseman. No, that's very, very good. Well, I don't think there's anything else. We've got good racing going to build up. As you say, Gauteng's got in, and I think we've still got one or two features down in Cape Town to come. So from Andrew, myself, and current affairs, that's all. We're back with the next part of the Frankel story.
biggest millions I've ever seen. Grace Valana, the leader. Grace Valana. Grace Valana.
They're ready for the St James's Palace, and they're racing, and away to a fair start too. Rerouted down near the inside, was away smartly.
Rerouted was once again deployed to lead Frankel. He set some scorching early fractions.
Rerouted going like the wind here, leads by 8 lengths on settling down, and does it well.
Yet Frankel went on in hot pursuit after just 3 furlongs. His mid-race move was spectacular, though he couldn't sustain his velocity to the wire.
But Frankel is now trying to get into the clear now and is out after his pacemaker, and he's bridging the gap very quickly indeed. He's raced up on the outside now to grab the lead as they go to the 3. It's Frankel who takes it up now. He's gone 2.5, 3 lengths in front as they round the turn. Further back then is Dubawi Gold in third, a gap to Acceleration. Further back in the field then is the Grand Prix Boss, but 2 furlongs left to go. It's Frankel. Frankel by 5 lengths. Acceleration coming out of the pack. Followed then by Dubawi Gold, and further back Nabraz and Dream Ahead down the outside. He's starting to shorten stride, but he's still in front. It's Frankel by 3. Down the outside, Zoffany finishing fast, followed by Acceleration. It's Frankel now. He's starting to paddle. He's going up and down to the 1 spot, but he's held on. Frankel has won it. Frankel won the St James's Palace. He's still unbeaten.
It was a close shave. The only time Frankel would fail to put clear daylight between himself and his opponents since his 2-year-old debut.
He is some sort of racehorse, this guy. We haven't seen the best of him yet. I'm sure if they just hold him up a little bit more, he is going to take off like you see there in the last 2 furlongs. He is a superstar. Well done to the team. You got him home again.
There is Frankel parading in front of the grandstand. Tom Queally can salute, the greatest horse he has ever ridden. Could yet be the best horse that Henry Cecil has ever trained. They think the world of him. And I do wonder, Willie, you're right, have we seen the best of him?
I don't think we have.
Sandeep, the lad that looks after him there at home, and Shane, who rides him in his everyday work, they deserve an awful lot of credit. But I'm so impressed with this horse's temperament, how relaxed he is, given how explosive his racing style has been required to be, both in the Guineas and here, for him still to be so cool and nice, just a lovely horse to have anything to do with.
Cecil felt Frankel had idled his way through the final furlong with a shortage of company. He was also convinced the colt would relish a step up in distance when the time was right. But that time was not now.
Everybody seemed to think that he could just jump and run, but he's more versatile than people think, and we've got options as regards tactics, and he's still the one to beat at the moment, so it's a good position to be in.
The Ascot race, together with the start of Frankel's 2,000 guinea victory, led some to believe he would be best over sprint distances.
The most extraordinary thing about him, I think he would have been effective from 5 furlongs to 12 furlongs, and is usually difficult to beat given all the right circumstances. I think that is the extraordinary thing about this horse. I don't think he had boundaries.
The second position, but Military Roses giving them a bath. That's one of the biggest millions I've ever seen. Grace Valana, the leader. Grace Valana. Grace Valana.
The duel on the Downs. A pair of deadly marksmen would take aim at each other on the sward of glorious Goodwood before tens of thousands of fascinated onlookers. The sense of intrigue was palpable ahead of the Sussex Stakes. Canford Cliffs was a cold-eyed executioner among older milers. 1 year Frankel senior, he had taken down champion Goldikova at Royal Ascot to post his 5th consecutive Group 1 triumph. At the very least, he was a worthy rival. Some even felt he would take Frankel's measure.
It's Frankel appearing now, and he's getting a fine reception. I don't think I've ever heard this as the horses have gone to the start. So much anticipation.
With Frankel starting to settle down at home, Queally had an extra tactical string to his bow. With no obvious front runner in the race, trainer and jockey felt Frankel could make the running in a controlled fashion. That much came to pass. The anticipated duel did not.
They're lined up and racing. Now, where is the pace coming from? Frankie Dettori taking a pull on Rio de la Plata on the near side. Frankel, Camford Cliffs, they're probably disputing it. And then Raj Saman, the early pace looks pretty steady. Tom Queally edging to the front now on Frankel from Camford Cliffs.
He just quickened up and Camford Cliffs had no answer to him.
It was a tour de force. Frankel all the way.
Tom Queally will be mindful to keep something in reserve. This horse with a tremendous long stride, leading the way over his big rival Camford Cliffs. Rio de la Plata is about 4 lengths back in 3rd, and then the French-trained Raj Saman in last place. They run down the hill towards the home turn. When they swing up the straight, they'll have 3.5 furlongs to cover. Richard Hughes is not giving Frankel a lot of rope here, but Queally hasn't pressed any buttons yet. Frankel leads the way by 2 to Camford Cliffs, 2.5 to Rio de la Plata, and then Raj Saman as they run down the Goodwood home straight with just over 2 furlongs left to travel in the Kipco Sussex Stakes. It's all about to unfold. Frankel still leads. Camford Cliffs just being shaken up in 2nd place now, and Frankel is pouring it on from Camford Cliffs. Rio de la Plata back in 3rd and Raj Saman. Oh, this is a brilliant horse. Frankel's pulling clear of Camford Cliffs as they race inside the final furlong. Frankel extending. Camford Cliffs is drifting to the stand side, and Frankel is too good. Frankel wins the Sussex.
For Queally, a greater concern than Camford Cliffs was bringing Frankel to rest before the runway ran out. As Frankel paraded in front of the grandstand, racegoers made plain their affections. They were becoming increasingly animated by Frankel's unique qualities.
I mean, you think of all the good horses that Henry Cecil's had. He said all along this is the best.
I mean, he's a very, very good horse. I think it's the best I've ever seen. I think they're probably looking through Blushing Groom and Miler, what really used to impress me. Yeah. And Shergar. I can't go further back because I wasn't alive, but I mean, the Tudor minstrels, all the days of matches. But I would think he's one of the best horses you've ever seen.
Fantastic. Very well done. 8 out of 8. May it long continue.
Well, the cheers ring out for Sir Henry Cecil, who's universally popular.
Frankel's record now stood at 8 wins from as many starts. He was given star billing ahead of the inaugural running of the Champions Day at Ascot, where he would sign off for the year in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. Kipco Champions Day was a bold new concept. It desperately needed to hit the ground running. But then, one horse always hit the ground running. Meanwhile, in the paddock, a new phenomenon broke out. Frankel Mania.
A round of applause greets the unbeaten champion Frankel. The best horse in the world is here to do his stuff at Ascot.
He is a superstar. He's the highest rated horse in the world. He could be the best horse we've ever seen. Henry Cecil and Jane there smiling, I think relaxing, enjoying it as well, because it's such a pleasure to have a horse this good.
The great Frankel attempting to consolidate his reputation as the world's best. That's it, they're racing. And Frankel away pretty well and drops in behind them early, and the pacemaker goes on bullet train by 2 or 3 lengths to Dick Turpin, is up there in 2nd.
Each of the 8 runners brought group winning form to the party, and each horse ran to its best. It was nowhere near enough.
Now Queally giving this Frankel a little bit more rein, and now